Hello everyone, my name is Evgeny and welcome to my channel. In this video I would like to touch upon the topic of preparing for front-end interview. I've been doing front-end engineering for almost 7 years now, and this is how I prepare every time I want to change my job. Before we start, please consider supporting this channel and hitting that like button. This means a lot for me and for the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you like my content, consider subscribing. Now back to the video. First step in my interview preparation is always a cold interview practice. I just try to find an easy opportunity to get some first interviews out of the way. Doesn't matter the company or the seniority. This interview's importance lies in that you actually have done it, and you are now officially interviewing for new positions. It makes the whole process less anxious. It shows you the things that you have forgotten and need to work on. Plus, it might even go well and you would have your first offer. That will allow you to think, oh, I'm not that desperate, I already have an offer. But in most cases for these interviews I get rejection, which is fine because offer here is not the goal. My next step would be to go over the front-end question banks. I have this favorite website where I just read through the most popular questions and ideal answers and try to remember all the concepts that might be important for technical interviews. If I don't remember something like JavaScript event loop, I dig into the topic and review it. Watch some videos, read some articles. When I understand it, I move on to the next question until I review all of them. Everything I am talking about will have links that I will include down in the description. Because of my seniority, I started to get front-end system design questions. It might not be relevant to your position, so if you are junior or mid-level, I would just skip this step. However, for this step, I just review the most popular system design questions and read through the explanation. In these steps, it is important to see patterns. The most front-end system design questions have a lot in common. In my opinion, they are not that complicated as back-end system design questions. I also watched some YouTube videos related to front-end system design. The best one I found is the channel called Front-End Engineer. Very useful if you are new in system design. It will show you how to approach the problem and what to say during the interview process. What I do is to try to watch some of the interviews, and if I'm not too lazy, I try to follow along one of the videos to warm up. My next step is to prepare for behavioral interviews. I know many people neglect this step and consider technical interviews as more important than behavioral, but please don't be fooled by this idea. You don't want to under-prepare for your interview. Behavioral interviews are as important as technical, and you need to be ready. As a rule of thumb, you need to write down all your previous places of work and apply STAR framework on every of your last jobs. STAR framework is a situation, challenge or situation which you found yourself in, task, what were you required to achieve, action, what did you do, and result, what was the outcome. By doing this, you will be ready to talk about your previous employment and be ready to present some challenges you faced and how you solved them. What I do next is just Google most common behavioral questions and just try to answer them in my head or out loud. You don't need to write it down, just by simply trying to answer them, you will not be hit by surprise at an actual interview. Also, there is a good website called Tech Interview Handbook that covers preparation for behavioral interviews pretty well. So, at this stage, I start to network. I reach out to all of my ex-colleagues, friends, family, and write a post on Team Blind. I ask everyone to refer me to open positions in my companies of choice. This process can take some time, so it is better to do it earlier. Sometimes even before you start preparing for interviews. During that, I also apply for open positions myself. Applying on your own has much higher rejection rate, even before getting to your first interview, so don't be discouraged by this, it is normal. At this stage, it's just a numbers game, so you need to apply to as many positions as possible. Don't be too picky at the beginning, you need to constantly have interviews lined up to practice before those good referrals come in. During this whole process, I also practice lead code and do mock interviews with people from some private groups. Lead code is less valuable for front-end interviews than for back-end, but you still need to do it. If you have friends in the similar situation, I suggest you create group and just interview each other back to back with some problems from lead code. My colleague and I are creating a platform that will match people together to do mock interviews. We're just trying to fix a pain point of ours. It is generally hard to find a reliable partner for mock interviews. This invite-only platform is free, but will have strict rules. Breaking those will get you banned. We don't want to make money out of it, just create a good community of people like us preparing for interviews. If you want to be included in this beta stage of this platform, fill out the Google form in the description and I will get back to you with the invite. So, for my last step in the interview preparation, I go back to practice my negotiation skills. It is very important. Companies always expect you to negotiate and have a buffer in their budget for it. So never be afraid to negotiate your benefits. I have a video about negotiation process and I also will include some links where you can read about common practices and strategies. So this is it. This is my whole process of getting ready for front-end interviews. The last advice I have for you is to stay positive before, during and after the interview, no matter the outcome. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe. This really helped my motivation to continue doing a free content for you all. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye.